If your team's emotional state is dependent on your blood sugar level, then we have way bigger problems than just gross profit. Welcome to Monday morning. And I want you to ask yourself, have you ever had a day where you just felt like you were reacting all day, one fire after another, one interruption, one problem, until 5 p.m., you look up and think, did I really lead my team today, or did I just survive them? Because here's the brutal truth that most leaders miss. You are not the smoke, you're the fire. And yet, most of us spend our days choking on smoke, chasing chaos, instead of owning the flame that creates clarity. Because your people aren't waiting on better conditions, they're waiting on a more anchored you. Let me tell you the truth that no one is saying out loud. If your team is inconsistent in its execution, it's not because they lack talent, it's because they don't know who they're following. On Monday, you show up calm, poised, and focused. Tuesday, you're explosive and chaotic. By Thursday, you're checked out. So your team isn't just responding to the market, they're responding to you. And if you're waiting for to feel better so you can lead better, then you are in big trouble because your results will always be at the mercy of your mood. And this episode is your spark. Even if all you've got is a smolder, I'm going to show you how to build that into a fire that will never burn out. I'm Chris Hunsicker, and this is the Dealership War Room, Leadership Fire, built daily, fueled intentionally, and delivered relentlessly. So let's dive in on how you can build a leadership fire that simply doesn't burn out. When identity gets cloudy, our actions get sloppy. And this isn't a strategy problem. This is forgetting who you really are. Let's break it down this way. I, do, have. Who you are determines what you do, and that determines what you get. Yet most managers flip this completely backwards. They're obsessed with the have. More gross profit, more engagement, less drama. And so their drive to do more, train more, yell more, scramble faster. But they never stop to ask the question, who do I need to become in order to achieve that result? See, that is leadership fire. That's identity. That's clarity. It's the difference between managing tasks and commanding presence. It's the gap between firefighting all day and building a fire that your team can absolutely rally around. Here's the frame. If you want a culture of execution, become a leader who executes daily. If you want emotional consistency, become a leader who emotionally self-regulates. And if you want a resilient, gritty, hopeful people, then become that first, because your team will never rise above the temperature that you set. Remember, you are not a thermometer, you're a thermostat. You don't measure the room, you set the temperature in the room. And that temperature flows from one thing, your identity. Not your goals, not your sales board, and definitely not your to-do list. But who do you believe yourself to be when it's chaotic? Because that's what drives everything else. So here's the question I want you to ask yourself. Who is the leader I choose to be today? The leader who shows up on purpose, with clarity, with consistency. Because that's not just some cute little affirmation, that is an operational directive. If you at all have the possibility to, I want you to pause the video right now. And I want you to grab a sheet of paper and I want you to write down your answer to that question. I am a leader who. Now, once you've got that written down, here's how we're going to make that real. How would that version of me show up at 8:30 a.m. when my best tech called out sick, my CRM just crashed, and my GM is hounding me for numbers? Because identity without embodiment is just a wish. Today's challenge is critical. It's short, it's sharp, and it's defining. Who are you? Not your title, not your tenure, your identity, your essence, your edge. And then I want you to complete this sentence in 6 words or less. I am a leader who. Speak it, write it, own it. And remember, you are the fire, not the smoke. Now that you have your one sentence, I am a leader who, I want you to think of one decision and commit to a decision that that leader would make before noon today and do it. Doesn't need to be loud, just needs to be lit. Because remember, your people aren't looking for you to be perfect. They just need to know who they're following. Tomorrow, we go tactical. If today was about claiming your identity, tomorrow is about protecting it. How to stay calm in the midst of the chaos, how to hold the line when doubt starts to creep in, and maybe most importantly, how to lead when you're the only one showing up with fire. If this hit you today, please follow through and complete that sentence. Repeat it, write it down, put it on your computer. I am a leader who, and then go from that identity. Because remember, it's I, do, have. Who am I determines what I'm going to do, which determines what I'm going to have and what I'm going to get. If this touched you or hit you and you know someone that needs this message, please forward on the podcast or share the link with them so they can sign up and be part of our community. And with that, I will see you tomorrow in the Dealership War Room.